In Season 2 Strategy Shortage, we're going to be spectating a Grandmaster Invisible Woman to see what they do better and how we can improve together. So we have our guy Xylons here, who is Invisible Woman, as you can see. So what we want to see is how these players play, because we're in a support shortage at the moment, especially for main supports that don't want to play this game because of the way the rank system is currently working. And the main used support at the moment is Invisible Woman as well as Rocket. That's the ones that are getting used the most at the moment. So as you can see here, she's trying to get a good line of sight on multiple teammates. So she's staying right as far back as she can, of course, whilst trying to heal up her teammates. She managed to pull the Wolverine closer, which allows her team to deal damage to them whilst they're between her team's lines instead of sitting with the enemy team. She's through out her bubble. The Hulk's now trying to dive, but she might get a finish on the Hulk there. And you need to know when to deal damage and when not to deal damage as a support player. And that is where people kind of go wrong when they're not really main support for a very long time. And you need to learn how to play at least one or two supports. And for example, this shortage that we have now is basically the issue where people that don't really play support have to play support because the support players don't want to play support because they're not ranking up. Which they just need to fix the rank system, and then people start playing support again, and people need to stop complaining that support players are bad as well, because they're one of the most important, if not probably the second most important role in this game after tanks. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a tank main, but I'm just saying that because I do think without tanks, it's really difficult to win a game. But they're all equally as important, realistically, because without any of them, you can't really win. I mean, you probably could win a game without DPS if you're good enough, but it still makes sense to have a DPS in the game for the damage output, right? So right now, just sitting back again, just healing up her teammates. Just throwing out the heals, but you need to keep in mind when it comes to Invisible Woman, her healing ability only has a 40-meter range, so you can't sit too far away from the fight with Invisible Woman, which is obviously the most important thing. You need to be within a decent range. But what she's trying to do is line up multiple teammates, because her healing goes through teammates. So if she lines up more than one teammate, then that means she's healing them both at the exact same time, which is obviously efficient healing. And that's how these people rack up numbers like 40, 50k healing. That's a lot of healing done in a game to offset the amount of damage that's being dealt by the team there. And then obviously if like two supports have 50k healing each, 100k healing is a lot within a game. And now we've managed to capture the point. So after all that, she didn't die at all as well, which is something I do want to point out. Staying alive as support is probably the most important thing. Not that you want to die anyway, but like I said, as support is the single most important thing to do. This is a very good angle. She's healing through the tunnel. Now, one thing I would say with this support player is that she could be standing behind kind of cover as well at the same time while healing her teammates. So like right now, this wall is covering her from damage. And right now she's standing behind the kind of payload thing, which is a really good position to take up, right? Because she won't be taking any damage at that point, while she could just output healing in a relatively safe space. Again, getting that good line of sight, jumped out the way of the thing's ultimate there because she had a double jump, but she did get soloed out here. Invisibility should be less, like maybe like 2 seconds or something. I don't think that would make it broken, to be honest. I think that would be a very good change. Just reduce the timer on when she can go invisible, like to 2 seconds. So if she's inactive, then she can heal herself up, at least for a little while, right? I think that would make her a little bit more stronger without having to make her ultimate like better or anything like that. And that brings me on to another point. Invisible Woman's ultimate, as you can see here being used, is one of the better ultimates in the game at the moment as well. But it's not going to tank like damage from, as you can see, Iron Man's ultimate, which can pretty much destroy through any support ultimate now in the game. So whether it's Cloak and Dagger, Lunar Snow, Invisible Woman, pretty much all of them, it can destroy through. Which, I don't know if I like that. They did bring that in to try to make supports not super powerful. But in my opinion, I think having support ultimates keep teams alive through ultimates is actually not too bad, to be honest. It's better than having a support shortage, I'll tell you that much. But right now, again, getting good line of sight. Try to turn around and heal up as well. This is what people that are at low levels don't tend to do. Heal what's above them and heal what's behind them. That's what you need to start to do, because there's a lot of flying heroes in this game that are popular, especially Human Torch now. And sometimes your teammates are not always going to be directly in front of you, right? So you need to be able to turn around and heal them up when you need to. When it comes to rotating her abilities, she's mainly using her primary healing for healing, obviously. The shield is very useful as well when it comes to high impact healing, when you need to get someone like really high, fill up their health quite a lot. I was gonna say really high HP, but that's exactly what healing is, right? But yeah, so like I said, just trying to deal a bit of damage as well, which is important. Invisible Women's attacks kind of go through teammates, so as long as you're standing behind a teammate, you're healing them up and it will pierce through and deal damage to whoever's in front as well. So one thing you want to do is kind of try and stand behind your teammates, the big ones, the tanks. Stand behind them, heal them up, and then also try and get damage done through your teammates. That'll give you a few assists as well. So that means you're supporting the team in terms of damage as well, not only just healing. This Iron Man's had his ultimate like 100 times already, man. I feel like he's had his ultimate so many times. Trying to push the Black Panther away, which is a very smart play, because obviously that would disrupt his movement and his combo output. Not that anyone should be playing Black Panther at this level, in my opinion, anyway, but like I said, I think just disrupting his movement is definitely solid, and obviously it allows you to push away ultimates like that. Which she didn't have her push available, but she could have pushed away the Agamotto there. She does have her ultimate available now. And the thing is absolutely crazy, man. Like, just keeps chasing you, keeps hunting you down, and when he slams down, you cannot really move when you're an Invisible Woman. He's using the shield to heal up multiple teammates at once. We've got a teammate ultimate there. Try to bubble the Iron Man. So if there is a flyer in the enemy team, you need to use the bubble ability because it will force them down to the ground. Back in the fight now. Use the ultimate to get the final push on. So she saved it for this part of the fight, I'm assuming, because this is the toughest bit to kind of get the last push on to the end. The push on the Wolverine didn't work for some reason. I don't know why. Use her invisibility there to try and heal herself up fully, because obviously she knows that her teammates are not going to be able to do anything too much to support her here. I'm surprised that Wolverine did not get pushed there. I don't know if she just missed the push completely or what happened. Again, just trying to pour the healing out now. It doesn't really matter if you're healing your tanks or who you're healing at this point. It's the end game. You want to make sure you've got that there. She pushed the Agamotto this time. I don't know if it actually did catch anyone. Now that we're halfway through the game, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as spectating high level players, low level players, and any world records in between that. Now that we're in our support shortage, I feel like this is all to do with the ranked mainly, but let me know what your thoughts on the support shortage are down in the comments below. If it's to do with the ranked, if it's to do with these kind of content creators saying that playing support is the easiest role in the game, or if it's a combination of both. I want to hear your thoughts. Let's get straight back into it. Second round now, and as you can see, we've pushed right up, thrown the bubble down to deal some tick damage to the enemy players. That won't do too much at the start of a game, but I suppose it deals a little bit of damage. It's good for finishing off enemies or stopping people completing their combos, especially like Black Panther, Spider-Man, Wolverines, that kind of thing, because it sucks you in. On tanks, it doesn't really work that much, depending on the tank, obviously. If it's Emma Frost and Diamond or the thing, it doesn't really move them at all. Just healing up our team at this moment in time, trying to get the good line of sight, as we mentioned before. And she's pushed the enemy team back. I think she was trying to like push them away, back into their kind of spawn area, right? Because you don't want to get them out at this point, because that way you can win the team fight a lot quicker. But there's still 3 minutes to go, so there's still quite a bit of time yet. And she's just healing up her tanks, healing up everyone that's in front of her essentially, and pushing the enemy team away and pushing them back. We've got a rocket ultimate now, which is one of the stronger ultimates in the game. But as you can see here, everyone's got some overshields. She's trying to heal them up at the same time. And the cloak and dagger on the enemy team's ulted through that as well. So she needs to be pretty careful here. Try to heal up all of her team. I think the Psylocke went for a health pack. Or try the Psylocke try to pull off a flank. I'm not really too sure where the Psylocke went actually. Psylocke's back now. Psylocke's ulted. And then she's popped her ultimate as well. So there's healing and damage being done in that small radius. And that was going to quite clearly be a team wipe for them because of the two ultimates happening at the exact same time. As you can see here, sitting back again. Just healing up our team, trying to get that good line of sight like we mentioned. Healing up our Psylocke with the shield. She could put the shield down a bit more regularly, I think. That's the only thing I would like to say. Because the shield does output loads of healing without you having to force yourself to constantly do it with your primary, obviously. They're all trying to stand behind cover. If you stand behind cover, you don't get hit with the Emma Frost ultimate. Or if you stand behind a shield from Doctor Strange, Magneto, or another Emma Frost, it'll kind of take it to the point where they cannot capture it. Throwing the bubble down again, super important. Throwing out the healing from a good angle here. If she can reach her teammates in this good angle, this is very, very safe to be in. It's unfortunate though. She had to throw in a free punch there. That was kind of funny, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. It was like a melee smack. Using the ultimate again. This is going to be a one team fight. Just off of that Invisible Woman ultimate there, that was really, really a strong push. The enemy teams now came back from their spawn. We're just sitting on the payload, or whatever you want to call it. The objective. Again, throws the bubble in where there's a big cluster of enemies. That's something that's quite useful because not only does it help deal tick damage, it stops them moving and doing their combos, and your teammates can kind of capitalize on that as well. She's trying to keep our other support alive because this thing has been harassing them for the whole entire game. He's gone invisible now, and again, another team fight seems lost here. A shorter time, like I said. I think it'd be more valuable to use like mid-fight, so you could go invisible for a couple seconds after like 2 seconds and then get straight back in the fight, and that way you can heal yourself up a bit better. Because Invisible Woman really has no way of healing herself up besides the double jump, which I feel like is a bit more difficult to do than some of the other ones. Throwing the bubble out again where there's a cluster of enemies, that is exactly what we're doing all the time. And again, I've got a good angle here where it's relatively safe, right? So she's got a good line of sight, but she's also stood behind this wall for cover. So no one can really hit her with too many abilities depending on who the enemy players are. Obviously, if they're aimbot attacks and things like that, then obviously it will hit her. But for the most part, she is positioning relatively well. And now they've won that team fight and they're pushing forward now. Again, throwing the bubble out where the cluster of enemies are coming from. Slow them down, deal damage at the same time. This is a very good angle, by the way. She can't die from this angle if someone flanks around the back. And she can see all of our team here. Literally our whole entire team. The ultimate goes up now, so they can push forward. You try to get the kind of radius of the circle in that doorway, so they can be in the door, but also not in the door at the same time. So they could use the kind of doorway for cover. Bubbled out again. Just to stop anyone coming through this doorway, because this is what they're holding, right? They're holding this angle. And if your teammates are holding a really good angle, you need to hold it with them if you're a support. And she's doing that extremely well. Staying back, stopping the enemy team coming through this doorway, holding the push, essentially. Getting a good angle line of sight on our teammates. As you can see here, you can see our full entire team. They're trying to pull a flank now because they realize it's not working out. Emma Frost ultimate, which if she just stays behind this wall, she'll be fine. Try to heal up her teammates through that. Throws out a bubble again, keeps her rocket alive. Try to keep Wolverine alive now. Emma Frost is back. And teammate Emma Frost is doing her ultimate. At this point, I would be trying to deal a little bit of damage to get maybe a pick or two. Because once your Emma Frost does an ultimate, then obviously it's going to be an easier way to get some kills. Luna Snow's pushed up here. We're waiting for the team to regroup so we can push together. Healing up the Psylocke. And this is a really good angle again. So essentially she's behind cover. No one can hit her. But she can see our full entire team, right? And that's exactly what you want to be doing as a strategist. And this is what makes a great strategist great and a not so good strategist not so good, right? Ultimate again. To stop the push. Got a bit of damage done as well. Got a couple of assists. Got 3 or 4 assists there. So she's dealing damage too. Pushing this Winter Soldier. I think she's just trying to get the team finish on that. There we have it. We have our player Xylons, who gets 35 kills, 3 deaths, which is very respectable. So she doesn't die at all throughout the whole entire game. And like I said, staying alive as support is super important. But not to mention, our healing output is close to 40k healing. Now, that is some ridiculously good numbers. As you can see, across the board for her and her teammate, they've both done about 40k healing each, which is a really, really strong amount, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. That's offsetting a ton of damage, which is pretty insane. She's also blocked a lot with her shield as well. So as you can see here, that's 13k damage blocked. So that is pretty insane. So if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new and you want to pick up strategists, then I highly recommend it. But also subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching.